Hi, welcome back to At the Table with Shirley. Today, our topic's a little different. I'm going to share with you an excerpt from my book manuscript, hopefully, will be published this year. But the book is called Deactivating Triggers Finding Joy and Peace in the Middle of a Chaotic, Angry World. And I just want to share you a little bit from chapter 6, which is Finding Peace Among the Chaos. And it's about unwavering faith and trust. Even when your path takes me through the valley of deepest darkness, fear will never conquer me, for you already have. Your authority is my strength and my peace. The comfort in your love takes away my fear. I'll never be lonely, for you are near. And that's Psalms 23:4. Peace. Wow. I was grown long before I understood what that word meant. I was so conditioned to the chaos in my life that I had no idea there was another way to live. Peace, whether it be a quiet serenity, even for a short time, or a total lack of confusion and distraction all around me. How do you understand something that you've never had? I understood fleeting moments of peace, like walking along a creek in the woods was peaceful. Yet even then, I had the dread and fear of what was coming next always looming over my head. There was no peace in my life growing up. I always told myself that as soon as I could get out on my own, I would be happy and free. By the time I was 13, I was working and supporting myself, and yet the world was still a very chaotic place. This way of life is not confined to the young. Most grown-ups I've known as I grew to adulthood myself lived very unsettled, unsure lives. They exhibited varying degrees of stress, unhappiness, harried and impatient, and were always in a hurry. Most, including myself, were short-tempered, bitter, and thought only of themselves and their own misery. The woe is me attitude left little room for noticing how our behavior affected those around us. Does any of this sound familiar? It is a vicious cycle, and it takes determination and a desire to change things before we can ever get off the never-ending emotional roller coaster. Are you happy with your life as it is? Are you happy with who you are, where you are? Would you change anything if you could? Do you have peace and joy in your life? You know, if you answered no to any of these, consider what it would take to change it, to make your life different, to include those things. First of all, realize it will take God to change them. You can want to change. You can try to change. You can desire to have a different life, but without Him, it is impossible. That's just an excerpt from the beginning of chapter 6, but it's a very important topic with us, not only in this day and age, but no matter what the current situation in the world, our own individual lives can be full of peace and harmony and joy if we just take the steps to make sure that it is. And, you know, that'll start usually, or it did for me, is examining myself to see, is there anything that is causing a roadblock between me and the Lord? Is there anyone I have an offense against? Is there anyone I'm still angry with? Is there anyone or anything that has made me bitter? Because those things, anger, bitterness, resentment, they're all roadblocks to having any kind of relationship with the Father and having any kind of relationship with anyone. So those are the things you must deal with first. And then with yourself, you know, what is it? You have to forgive yourself. What have we personally done that may have offended others? And the chapter I'm working on now deals with that because it's the biggest hurdle you have to get over is forgiving yourself. I've found it much easier to forgive others in my life and get past that than I have forgiving myself for the things I've done and the things I've said. But if you truly want to make a change in your life and you truly want that world of peace and harmony and joy, those are the starting places. Examine yourself. Do you hold any resentment against anyone, or is there anyone you really need to forgive? They may have already gone on. You know, I've admitted before that I never forgave my father for some things, my biological father, until he had died. And then I finally audibly one day had to tell him that I forgave him and just let it go. Then I had to forgive myself too for not doing it much sooner, because I would have had a lot more peace in my life if I could have done that, and others as well. But that's my thought for this week, and I just wanted to share a little bit of my book baby with you that I'm working on, and hope you will consider those things. Make a list. Is there anyone or anything that is causing a roadblock between your having a relationship with the Father and having that peace and joy that Jesus promised before he ascended to the Father and is written in his word? Anyway, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful week.